functional component is what? What is that? Special somatic afferent. In this, what are the cranial nerves listed? Tell me. It is the first 8 cranial nerve, that is the hearing, vestibulocochlear. Vestibulocochlear. Plus second, optic. Isn't it? Second, it is the optic. That means the 8th cranial nerve as well as the second and 8, it is listed in the functional column special somatic afferent. Okay, vestibulocochlear and the optic. This is concerned with the ear, vestibulocochlear. Of course, there are two nucleus, vestibular and the cochlear nucleus are there. Vestibular nucleus, it is concerned with which function? Equilibrium. And cochlear nucleus, it is concerned with the hearing. The hearing part of the ear, it is concerned with this cochlear, and this both the nucleus vestibulocochlear, it is present in the floor of the fourth ventricle at the pontomedullary junctions, the lateral aspect. Okay, vestibular it is larger in size and cochlear it is in pair, dorsal and ventral aspect. So I will not go in detail of this vestibulocochlear. That means vestibulocochlear, that means 8 and the second cranial nerve by special somatic afferent. Somites, somatomeres. So the optic disc, optic placode and the otic placode. Otic for the ear and this is for the eye. Optic placode. It has been formed by the depression of the surface ectoderm here. That means somatic derivatives. And the afferent from special sensation is there. Hearing, equilibrium, vision. These sensations are the special sensation. That's why the afferent fibers coming from these cranial nerve will be carried by this. It will be included in the special somatic afferent column. Then you have not asked, what is the counterpart of this efferent? If there is SSA, special somatic afferent, but no special somatic efferent. There is no special somatic efferent fiber. That's why otherwise you have got the 4 functional column in the basal lamina and 4 functional column in the alar lamina. In the meanwhile, I will mention that more than one from the sensory afferent fibers. For the afferent fibers, it is the ganglia collection, the first order neuron, it is outside the brainstem, and where it is relaying in this nucleus, the sensory nucleus, the sensory aspect of these cranial nerves, the nucleus are the second order nucleus which are situated in the brainstem. Like the nucleus tractus solitarius, all the sensory nucleus, that means the vestibulocochlear, the general, so all these nuclei are the second order neurons. And for the efferent columns, from where the nucleus it is getting the cranial nerves which is arising, it is the collection of the cell body, it is situated inside the brainstem. And for these afferent columns, the collection of the cell bodies, it is situated outside the brainstem. Only exception is the mesencephalic nucleus which is situated inside the brainstem. It is like that. Another point is, for the efferent component, one motor nucleus, it is shared by more than one cranial nerves. Like nucleus ambiguous. What is this nucleus ambiguous? If anyone asks what is nucleus ambiguous, motor or sensory? Of course you will say it is a nucleus, but motor or sensory? It is a motor nucleus, and it is not only for the, many times we get the answer it is for the 9th grade. No, it is shared by more than one cranial nerve, this nucleus ambiguous. Because nucleus ambiguous, where I have kept it, this nucleus, motor nucleus, which column? So, special visceral efferent column. For what? For the derivatives of the pharyngeal arches. That means 9. It is supplying which muscle? Stylopharyngeus. Stylopharyngeus, isn't it? Then 10th, and along with the 11th, cranial part of the 11th, both is muscles of, what are the muscles? Muscles of palate, larynx, pharynx. That means 10th and the cranial part of the accessory nerves, the muscles, it is supplying the muscles of palate, soft palate, the larynx and the pharynx, and these all the muscles are derived from the brachial arteries. And this nucleus ambiguous, it is the motor component for all the 9 cranial nerves. That means more than one cranial nerves or the efferent component will share the common nucleus. Again, opposite, for more than one cranial nerves, sensory information, one single nucleus will be there. I have given you the example, nucleus of tractus solitarius, general visceral afferent and the special visceral afferent, both the, that means I will say that the only test sensation, it is added upon this nucleus and it giving a additional column for that, that is the special visceral afferent. Isn't it? And this special visceral afferent, due to the formation of tongue, it is dragging more than one nerve for this functional column, because different part of the tongue to the posterior part of the tongue, the different cranial nerves are carrying the test sensation. 7th, the 9th, the 10th, like that. So the nucleus of the tractus solitarius NTS, the nucleus of the tractus solitarius, it is the nucleus for the special visceral afferent function and the general visceral afferent. It is 9 plus 10 and here it is the 7th, here it is the 9 and then it is the 10. It is like that. So, just revise these functional columns. What does it mean of the cranial nerves? A very important topic. It is only easy to remember when you will understand what does it mean, what this nomenclature means, and what are the functions of any cranial nerves and where I have to put it. I am giving you the examples of one cranial nerve, that is the glossopharyngeal. Look here. What this glossopharyngeal do and how you will put the functions column for that cranial nerve. Okay, so ninth nerve, what it is, how it is doing it work. When you will read why we have understood this functional column, when you will read in detail the different individual cranial nerves, and when you will it is applied, then against that work you have to put that point. Whether it is the motor, whether it is the sensory, which type of. So 9 cranial nerve, when we will say the motor aspect of these cranial nerves. First thing is it is the cranial nerve which is supplying the one muscle derivative of the third pharyngeal arch, that is the stylopharyngeus. Okay, stylopharyngeus. Okay, for this pharyngeus, for this 9th cranial nerve, it is supplying stylopharyngeus muscle. So, which functional component you will put here from this? It is supplying, that means I am using the word motor function of this 9th cranial nerve. And stylopharyngeus, it is the derivative of which pharyngeal arch? First, second or the third pharyngeal arch. Okay? So, it is those special efferent. You have to choose from here. Only 3 columns are there for the efferent. general somatic, special visceral and general visceral different. So for this function stylopharyngeus, because it is the special visceral derivative or the brachiogenic derivative, so you will put here as E. And the nucleus which is responsible for this supply will be what? Nucleus ambiguous. Okay. Now, in the general visceral efferent, we have discussed the glands, many glands of the head and neck, paras, which are supplied by the parasympathetic ganglia. So, secretomotor, again secretomotor fiber for which gland? For parotid. Okay. This ninth cranial nerve, it is giving the secretomotor fibers to supply the parotid gland. Again it is efferent. Now you tell me, you have to choose here which. You have to choose general somatic, special visceral or general visceral efferent. Yes, very good. General visceral, because the glands we have discussed, it is included in the muscles of and the abdominal viscera, smooth muscles of the viscera, and the glands are included commonly in the general visceral, whether afferent or efferent. Okay, so general visceral efferent fibers you will get when the ninth cranial nerve it is supplying the parotid. Okay. Now, ninth cranial nerve from the posterior part of the pharynx. Now come the sensation, afferent fibers. Sensations from the ninth cranial nerve, from the posterior part of the pharynx guided by the ninth cranial nerve. Again, afferent supply from the posterior part of the pharynx. So, general visceral afferent. What you will say? General visceral afferent from the pharynx. That's why you will not use which? General somatic. You have to not use the general somatic. It is for the pain, touch, temperature, somites derivatives as well as the joints, proprioceptive impulses. Okay. So sensation from the pharynx, then you will have to use general visceral afferent fibers. Isn't it? Middle ear cavity, sensation, middle ear cavity and sensation, plus the proprioceptive impulses. Then middle ear cavity, again the otic, somites, from there the sensations. So what you will write? General somatic afferent. General somatic afferent. Okay. Now, what else does the cranial nerve, ninth cranial nerve do? When we will talk about the test sensation, of course it is involved in the carrying the test sensation also. When you will discuss the test nomenclature with this ninth cranial nerve, then from the posterior 1/3 of the tongue, the test sensation is carried by this ninth cranial nerve. Then again from this afferent columns, which component you have to choose? Special visceral afferent. Very good. Now it is clear? I have given the example of the ninth because it included both the aspects, wide range of this functional columns here related with the ninth cranial nerve. That's why I have opted it. So go and read properly the different cranial nerves. This was all about the nutshell about the functional columns, efferent and the afferent components of the different cranial nerves.